Hey, Shalom, Shalom. Hey, call hello, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Yakakwadash, and of course, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the fellow Akim out there on the highways and byways throughout the four corners of this earth. All right, preaching this gospel in all honesty and sincerity in an attempt to wake up the remaining, hopefully, elect. This is now Mount DC camp. And once again, here we are on the, well, at least coveted by these Edomites, the so-called white people, the 4th of July or July. All right. And it's sad we have to keep readdressing this because our people somehow think that this pertains to them. All right. Wow. Once again, this is the speech by Frederick Douglass, no matter what you think of him. But this was spoken at a time where we were still in hardcore abundance. So it is 1852. This is 13 or 11 to 13 years before the Emancipation Proclamation. All right, I say that because it was originally in 1863, but there's an additional 2 years because of what happened down in Texas. They didn't get the word, of course, because again, Esau did not want to let us go for just about an additional 2 years. So hence 1865. All right, so again, this is speaking truth to power. Like I said, no matter what you think about, Frederick Douglass, hey, this is one hell of a speech. All right, it says Frederick Douglass. This is from the University of Rochester. All right, Frederick Douglass delivered best, in quotation, best 4th of July speech in American history. All right. And he quotes, "This 4th of July is yours," talking about so-called white folk, "not mine." And that's so very true, even to this day. This is not, what the fuck are you doing out there celebrating? This is their so-called independence, not yours, because you were never, were never set free. When you understand what emancipation really means. It says, "You may rejoice, I must mourn. Do you mean citizens to mock me?" And even to this present day, you can see, if you happen to catch an occasion to where Jake be out there, all giddy and happy in his red, white, and blue, looking like a total idiot. And you may catch an Edomite looking at this stupid ass like, what the fuck are you celebrating? Because they understand. You don't. All right. Because I got to relate the story now, but years ago because I'm here in DC, I went to the National Archives. That's for those of you that have ever been here. That's on 7th Street or Georgia Avenue and Pennsylvania Avenue. Of course, you have to access it through the Constitution Avenue side. Okay. And I'm in there, and you can just feel the gazes upon you from these Edomites. And I'm looking at the Magna Carta and all this other shit, the Constitution, blah, blah, blah. And I just got the most uneasy feeling. This is before I knew anything about the truth. All right. And yeah, it was very uneasy. And these Edomites, they don't mind letting you know that. You get a sense of how they really feel about you. All right. But our people have been taught, just dismiss that. This is your country and all that bullshit. But you're not paying attention to all the times they let you know. This ain't your country, nigga. And they do it every day, whether you realize it or not. Continuing on, it says, on July 5th, 1852, Frederick Douglass gave a speech at an Independence Day celebration organized by the Rochester Ladies Anti-Slavery Society. Though a biting critique of the federal government's support of slavery and recently passed Fugitive Slave Act, the 500 to 600 people in attendance at Corinthian Hall heartily supported Douglas's message. And he just says, what to the American slave is your 4th of July? I answer, a day that reveals to him more than all other days in the year the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is the constant victim. And let's go further than that. It shows you the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy. We just had a Jake that was shot at over 90 times with, I think they confirmed he was hit like 80 times. Okay, in Ohio. And they're still waiting for the, they just released the tape yesterday, I believe it was. And they're still waiting for the investigation to conclude. He's running away from them. They somehow find a gun there afterwards. But yeah, it's once again, here we go. And Jake, you know, and it's just become like a meme now, you know, sadly enough. But you have to put it out there that Jake does some wicked ass shit. So you can't totally say, well, this is unfounded, because, hey, and with this demons, this devil's press, he uses it as a weapon, you know, what does it say, Revelation 12 and 10, the accuser of our brethren. It's a continual thing with our people, because he's trying to cast that doubt that no matter what we do, we're guilty, and it has worked so very well for him until recently, because people see through the bullshit. And what I say recently, I'm talking about, let's just say within the last 30 years, things have really started to go against us, because of what? Technology. The level of technology. Look at, everybody's got a cell phone, and the cameras and the software and all that continually, and the hardware too, but everything continues to get better as time goes on. All right, but continuing on with this, it says, to him is the constant victim. To him, your celebration is a sham, and it is. All right, and Jake is out there. I haven't even gone out today yet. I have to, because I, don't have service anymore, so I gotta find a library so I can upload my videos. But again, this is a total sham. It's a slap in the face. We just went through that bullshit Juneteenth, and you still have people laughing about that. Our people have just, hey, let's get it real quick. What did the scripture say? Our people. This is, oh man, this is Proverbs 4:22. It says, whoops. The hell? Salaki. Brain fart there. This is Jeremiah 4:22. And it says, for my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. And that's heavily reinforced here too. You got to keep Jake, especially with this this rap game, and the amount of rappers that have been murdered within the last 2 years alone. And you have to understand the game, especially with these so-called Jews that played in the music industry, and how they've set Jake up. It's just making mockery, and it's actually forcing Jake to make mockery of himself. And then they're exploited by these so-called Jews who, hey, stole our identity. So it's in their best interest to make us look as foolish, stupid, and ridiculous, and wicked as possible. And then they go, again, Revelations 12 chapter, the accuser of our brethren, they go say, see, what are your people doing? Look. And we just came out of this Pride Month. All right, they gave these pieces of shit a whole month. Anyway, continuing on with this, it says, "To him your celebration is a sham, your boasted liberty, an unholy license. Your national greatness, swelling vanity." I just covered that. Well, it goes into pride. Your sound of rejoicing are empty and heartless, and it is. Because here you are celebrating, oh, we're such a great nation and all this, and the other countries will tell you quick, you fucking hypocrite. You out here trying to tell us how we should uh, do what you say, but you don't, because you're a hypocrite. You're trying to pass off this democracy, which is wicked. People are seeing through that and they're tired of it. All right. You're trying to tell us how to run our country, and look at yours. Your denunciation of tyrants, brass-fronted, empty. See, there we go. I just because they go all around the world. Well, you should not do this to your people. We are a democracy here, and look, yet how you treat supposedly your own citizens, but we know that we never have been. See, we don't have a consulate or an embassy to run to. Please do something. We have no one, because again, going back to what I said earlier about you don't understand what emancipate means. There was just a transference from private ownership, because hey, we are slaves. We are a people without a piece of land to reference as our own, because all that was taken from us. Jeremiah 17:4. Let's get that real quick. All right, and a lot of what goes on in our heads is a result of that and what they did as far as our family structure. All right, especially with the males, with the fathers not being in the homes. This is Jeremiah 17:4. It says, "And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage." This is the Most High, because he got tired of our shit. So he said, "I'm going to take everything from you. And the most important thing, even my name, so you can't call on me." Because the whole history of our nation is we continually go off. We go into these other lands that we were instructed not to do. And that's what? Take up the customs of these foreign lands we go into. And what do we do? Yep, you guessed it. Over and over and over and over and over and over. Just read the book of Judges. By that book alone is a repeat. Constantly going off, get saved. Go off again, get saved. Go off again, get saved. Until finally the Most High said, with this transatlantic slave shit, I'm going to even take my name. So now you're going to be delivered into the hands of these pieces of shit. All right, you're going to be given, well, let's go there. You're going to worship gods of wood and stone. Let's go to Salaki. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28. And let's see. Well, let's start at the top so you'll understand where I'm coming from and where the scriptures, more importantly, are coming from. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 1. Of course, you can go all the way back to, this is Moses talking to the Israelites, nobody else. All right. And these, well, I'll get to that, but I got to say at the top, these curses help identify who's who and who's not. Like the people over there in our land now. It says, "And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Most High Yahweh, thy power," here we go, that's not the power of the whole planet, "to observe and do all his commandments which I command thee this day, the Most High Yahweh, thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth." Remember, that was a promise made, what? Way back in Deuteronomy 7. Just as I said, when we go into the land, what were we supposed to, and more importantly, not supposed to do? That's Deuteronomy 7:1. It says, "When the Most High Yahweh thy power shall bring thee into the land, whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee." Now these are, all right, these, let's say, Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, and the Canaanites, the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Most High thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor shew mercy unto them. And that will become relevant at what time? That's right, Saul. What was Saul supposed to do? And he didn't do. For neither shalt thou make marriages, so I can, my voice, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Nehemiah 13th chapter. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Most High Yahweh be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly. 5. But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. And what did Israel do? Secretly, they would be in the groves. Look at Ezekiel, the 8th chapter. All right, so let's continue with this. It says, verse 2, and all these blessings, if we do this, if we observe his laws, statutes, commandments, it says, and all these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Most High Yahweh thy power. Let's skip on down to 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High Yahweh thy power, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes which I commanded this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And sure they did. From 16 to 68, it runs off. If nobody fits these more perfectly than the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans. None. And they are feverishly trying to put themselves or find some incident in history where they can match themselves. I'm talking about the fake Jews. That they can match what happened to us, and it is not there. Their latest and sorriest attempt with Vocab Malone, going back and way back, using Third Maccabees, and it tells you that that's made up. Yeah, they're going hard like that because they've been caught in one of many lies, trying to say that they are the people, and they're not. That they're suffering these curses, and they are not. They own everything. How can you be a victim, all right, and the villain? But see, you people don't catch this. You're so quick to feed into the bullshit. You're anti-Semitic. There's no such word as Semite. But they've managed to play on the world's emotions and extort the world, because getting all that free billions of dollars, all right, and handouts every year just from this country alone, that's what you've done over a lie. With that hollow hoax bullshit. All right, in the meantime, you set it up to where the true people, because of this wicked ass system, the true people of the Lord are continually oppressed and exploited through your system. And that's what we try to tell Jake, our people, that this is one huge setup. This system is indeed a pit. This is what it is designed to do. And everybody was in on it via Psalms, or by way of Psalms 83rd chapter. They are confederate with one another. This has been very lucrative to them. What do you think all these summits and meetings with all these elites meeting in Davos and all these other places, what do you think it's about? How to continue the oppression and exploitation of the Israelites. Now, going back to what I was trying to, about all these curses, and I go to the point where I was trying to make, I think it's 49. Well, let's start at 48. I should actually start up earlier. These curses. Let's go to 37. It says, actually 36 to make my point early. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 36. It says, the Most High Yahweh shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Most High shall lead thee. Nigger, coon, jigaboo, thug, etc., etc. 43. This is a big one too. In case you ever wondered, well, how is everybody, all these foreigners, ever able to come into our neighborhood? We've been here all this time because the system is set up that way. I just did a video about how it is down in the deep south with the Moabites, so-called Chinese, when they came over here, and how they are encouraged to go along to get along and keep us on the bottom. All right. Anyway, verse 43, it says, a stranger, which they are, that is within thee, shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. 44, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. 45, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not. Remember the second verse. Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Most High Yahweh thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. Here it goes. 46, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Now you got to ask yourself, are these pretend Jews going through all this? They had a few bad years during the Holocaust, but you forget they're the ones that were behind all this. Hitler was one of them. Yes, he was a Rothschild. You got to remember too, and I encourage you to look into it, they have a habit of changing their names so you can't readily identify who they are. They're just slick and sly like that. I keep thinking about that old song about a lost generation back in the day. Although it was talking about something slightly different, you can still apply that. It was called The Sly, the Slick, the Wicked. I think that was around 1970. Good song. Because, and here's 47, because thou servest not the Most High Yahweh thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Who are they serving? Who the most Jake serving now? Jesus, sweet Jesus. All right, because that was one of those gods of wood and stone. 48, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Most High shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. We produce nothing. A lot of our people get thrown off because of FUBU, for us, by us, and shit like that. Maybe Kanai. But then again, that's just it. You're being thrown off. We don't call our own shots. It's as simple as that. 49 is another big clue. The Most High shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle. Wink, wink. As swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. That's going into, well, let me read 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor shew favor to the young. Who have we been dealing with? When you go back to the so-called Greeks, they're Edomites. What was their symbol? The eagle. The Romans, Edomites. What's their symbol? The eagle. And when you go all the way back to when King David was dealing with with these Edomites, these so-called white people, when they were in Mount Seir and Petra. Look it up, where that's carved into the mountain. Look at the architecture today. That's in their spirit. It's the same method by which they built. And what are those birds on the very top? I'll let you answer that. But in the meantime, let's go back to this article just to show you there who you're dealing with. All right, and why he says here it is a mockery. This is continuing on. Your denunciation of tyrants' brass-fronted impudence, your shout of liberty and equality, hollow mockery. Your prayers and hymns, your sermons and thanksgiving, oh man, what did they do to the Gadites? They attempted to do to the Reubenites, but they fought like hell. They did not conquer them. They made deals with them. And let's go on down through, well, the whole Western world. From Antarctica on down is Gadites and, Northern Kingdom, all the way down to tip of Argentina. Because that's where the 10 tribes came over here. All right. So what's the history there with the conquistadors and the so-called European nations when they come? How did they deal with these people on this side? These people are Israelites. And look how they were treated. He's given a rundown here. Your Thanksgivings. Look at that history, I encourage you. With all your religious parade and solemnity, are to him mere bombast, fraud. He's talking about to the slave. All right. This is how they're perceived, and rightly so. Fraud, deception, impiety, and what have I been saying all along? Hypocrisy. A thin veil to cover up crime. That sounds like, got to go there. That thin veil, and what's happening now? Whoops. Why did I do that? What does this tell you? This is Isaiah 25:7. It says, and he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, because everybody was under that deception of so-called white man being the image of justice and this democracy bullshit. But that veil, that covering is being pulled back, and that skirt is being lifted. Isaiah 47 chapter. And everybody's seeing you for what and who you truly are. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, because they were under that spell, and the veil that is spread over all nations. And this is why he's got to hurry and try to set up this new world order. It says, a thin veil to cover up crimes which would disgrace a nation of savages. And that's indeed what they are. There is not a nation on the earth guilty of practices more shocking and bloody than are the people of the United States at this very hour. And this is 1852. Look what has happened since then. Douglass printed the speech in his newspaper, Frederick Douglass's paper, and published 700 copies of it in pamphlet form. The River Campus Library's Department of Rare Books, Special Collections, and Preservation Holdings includes a manuscript collection of Douglass's letters, photographs, and ephemera. Part of the collection has been digitized, including a readable copy of the July 5th oration. All right, and that's it. That's all you need. Here's the interior there of that hall. It's the Corinthian Hall. Corinthian Hall. Wow. So here it is. Frederick Douglass has delivered best 4th of July speech in American history in Rochester. So there you have it. Hey, so once again, I hope whoever views this is edified. We at Great Millstone try to give you true history and filter it through the scriptures, so you would have a better understanding of what's really happening and not get all caught up in these lies and deceptions that you have been. All right. So with that, hey, shalom.